set, go. Three guys, one mic, a lot of heavy. Oh yeah.
Hello, I'm Jeff Crenshaw. You're listening to Heavy, Set, Go. As you probably expect, Alan Burrell isn't here today. Shocker, but what is actually shocking is neither is Ben Eastman, and he has been on every other podcast that we've had so far. So to the regular people, it's just me, but I have a special guest today. He's, he needs no introduction, but he's getting one anyway. He is Jordan Yaroslavsky. His main objective here today is he's here to do some ADR, which I'll explain what that is later for you if you don't know. But he's also had quite an experience outside. He's played music for Chevy Chase apparently, and he's been involved in the really huge hit Green Room. But I'll let him fill in the blanks that I just left with Jordan Yaroslavsky. How are you doing?
Yeah, it's great to be here, Jeff.
Yeah.
I know I'll try to fill in the shoes of the rest of your crew. So I don't know if I can fill in Ben Eastman's shoes, but I will try.
Well, they both have very vivacious personalities.
Yes.
I guess is the word. Don't feel that you have to be Ben Eastman or Alan, because no one can be those guys.
I'll be myself.
Be yourself. Be yourself.
Yeah, so I am first and foremost, I'm a musician. I play pretty much, I play guitar, I play electric guitar, I play classical guitar, I play flamenco guitar.
I remember you talking about flamenco back when we were filming.
Yeah, and ukulele, basically. If it's got a board and strings on it, I can play it.
Can you play, I forget what those are called,
cellos or...
No, those country music guitars, like...
Oh, probably.
They have like the little slider boards on this.
A slide guitar, or
it's like it looks like.
It's not really guitar. But...
It looks like it's like a lap guitar, I think is what it's called. It goes on a stand and there's strings, and you just it doesn't look like this, but there's something that you put on it, and you pick the strings with one hand, and you put pressure with this. It's not a pick, but it's like a little bar that you kind of...
Yeah, that's a... there's a whammy bar, but you're talking about a slide? Are you talking about... Are you talking about the...
It's like a steel... It's like, I guess, a steel guitar, but it's like a lap steel guitar. Like old school, like 1950s country. Like Hank Williams.
Yeah, I don't know if I've played those before. But I mean, guitars are relatively, if you can play one, you can kind of figure out all of them. Like a bass guitar I could play pretty easily, even though I don't typically play bass.
Is it hard to transition from a 6-string to a 12-string? Or are they like double strings?
I actually have a 12-string. So yeah, what they are double strings. So they're the exact same notes.
So you just play the 2 strings as if you're playing one.
Yeah, it's harder on your fingertips. If you play a left-handed guitar like I do, then the fingertips on your left hand get really callous because they're 2 strings, not one.
Yeah.
But the sound is very unique for a 12-string. A steel 12-string, which is what I have a Yamaha 12-string that I've played for a while. But I switched to classical, after some years. I mean, I started playing. My first guitar was an electric. It was a Lotus, which is, if you don't know, it's kind of a cheaper brand, kind of a beginning for a beginner guitarist. I was probably 12, and graduated to eventually I kind of learned the blues. Nice. I love the blues. I love playing blues a lot, and they're basic scales, and but you can do a lot with them. And then one day I turned off the distortion and said, "Hey, I want to play like Andre Segovia."
Like by distortion, do you mean like the gain, or like so you started playing clean as opposed to
the gain? Yeah, basically. I mean, an extreme example would be Jimi Hendrix or Nirvana, or yeah. So, but I kind of, I don't know if I got bored with it, but I wanted to expand, and taught myself the nylon string guitar.
Is that different than playing like a steel string or a?
It's the same. I mean, it's the same setup, and it's same tuning, or you can tune it different ways on a classical. So you might like a standard tuning would be like an E standard, which is E A D G B E. Yeah. And that's just a standard tuning for anything. You could play classical that way, but a lot of times the classical you might tune to like a major tuning, or there's a lot of different ways you can tune a classical guitar that you wouldn't necessarily do with an electric or just a steel string acoustic. But the key difference between a classical guitar and another type of guitar is that classical is nylon string.
Nylon string.
Yeah.
Right.
So that way,
probably easier on the fingers than
it is. It allows more. It allows you more control with the knife. I mean, it is easier on the fingers, but you can play steel string with bare fingers too. But with the nylon string, you can do the flamenco picking style. The Latin style of picking is called toque, and there's basically 5 or 6 types of styles, methods of picking toque, one of them is a very fast paced picking where you're actually picking one by one with each finger to create that sort of just create that sound that you might find in a typical flamenco guitar.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
And flamenco guitars, that's like the clean, really fast pace.
Very fast, yeah.
Like you find in Latin music.
Yeah.
And it's electric, right?
You can play it electric, but normally, typically it would be a acoustic.
Okay.
But you plug it in so that you can actually turn on gain. So, I have a Cordoba flamenco guitar. Mm-hmm. It's not just a classical guitar, but it's specifically a flamenco guitar. Excuse me. And it plugs directly into the amp, so you can make it all the adjustments.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it doesn't have to be completely clean, but it's nylon strings, so that's the key. Nylon is more flexible than steel, and also not only that, but you can buy extra. I prefer the nylon strings that are kind of loose, but you can buy them tight. Not tight stretched nylon, So there's a whole kind of array of nylon strings that you can buy.
Is the difference nylon makes, does it make a difference in how it sounds or just how you can play? Like, does picking a nylon string once sound different than a steel?
Oh, between a nylon and steel, it sounds completely different.
Completely different.
Yeah. No, I mean, to the untrained ear, you might not know. It might, a guitar is a guitar is a guitar, but definitely a different sound.
For the musician.
Yeah. And not only that, but different parts of the world, different regions, more commonly you'll have a nylon string. For instance, Mexico, you'll have more commonly nylon string guitars.
And here's kind of more steel.
Yeah, more commonly in the States, you have more steel guitars. Of course, you have everything, I mean, Jesse Cook is a Canadian, and he plays Latin, so he plays nylon. So, of course, you can play nylon anywhere, but it's more common in certain parts. In Latin America and Spain, especially, nylon strings are really kind of the norm.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Green Room.
Yeah.
You were involved in that, and unfortunately, I hate to bring this up, but I'd rather get this out of the way.
Yeah.
With being part of Green Room, there is an elephant in the room, and that is, of course, that unfortunately, about a month or two ago, Anton Yelchin died a horrible death, and I think the guy was going to go places. Like, he already kind of was.
He already was.
But I think he would have gone further.
Yeah.
And my question is, just to get it out of the way, is, did you meet him, and what was that like? Tell us about the experience of meeting Anton Yelchin.
Well, I met with him briefly. See, we all were. I spent about 2 weeks on set. So,
now, which set was this? Was this the Nazi bunker rock house?
I was most of the time. I think I went to a couple different sets, but most of the time I was at the venue. The venue, okay. Yeah, which is really interesting because Jeremy Saulnier, the director, he had a lot of, and again, for those who don't know, it's a neo-Nazi kind of punk rock movement, and he had a lot of interesting, stickers on the walls, save our white children, save our white babies, and stuff, and...
I hate to be the prop guy that has to go buy those.
Yeah, I mean...
Did you just get this from Zazzle?
Yeah. But there's a certain artistic, freedom with it that's kind of, it's kind of, as a Jew, I can say this, it's kind of fun, to go out and buy that stuff and just be like, well, people actually make this stuff, and people actually, and I lived in the South. I've lived in the South for 3 or 4 years, but, Anton was an actor that, I looked up to a lot because I've followed him ever since he was an alpha dog. I
don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, he was an alpha dog when I think he was just a teenager with, Justin Timberlake was in that.
Oh.
And among other, even Bruce Willis was in it. It's about a true story, actually. It's an ironic movie for him to be in because...
Does his character get hit by a car or something?
Well, his character, it's a true story. I don't know if just based on a true story, but it was pretty factual. About a kid who was kidnapped in southern California, and because his older brother owed drugs. And what happened is the guys that his older brother. The guy's name in real life, Anton Yelchin's character was named something Markovitz. Can't remember his first name, but he was kidnapped. But it wasn't like a tie you up kidnap thing and threw him in the back of the trunk. It was like they kidnapped him, quote unquote, and like took him partying and stuff, and he had a good time with the girls and stuff. So
it was a fun kidnapping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, but it turns out because the way it ended, every time they brought him to a party, every person that saw him was a witness to. Eventually, they decided that the kidnappers decided that because technically this is a kidnapping for ransom and they could be facing multiples of years, they decided to do,
They kill him?
do the deed. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's what happened in real life, and that's what happened with Anton's character in the movie. Is he was killed in the movie.
How, was it with a car?
No, it wasn't that ironic, but it was with a shovel and a automatic, I think, submachine gun.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
But what was he like? How did the meeting go with him? Like, did you like walk around and I imagine you were an extra, weren't you?
I was in that one. Yeah, I was an extra, and I worked about probably 2 or 3 weeks on that one.
Just for my own, like this will matter to almost no one else, but just for my own frame of reference, was this before or after we worked on Truffle Runners?
This was after.
After?
This was after, yeah. It wasn't that long after. I kind of stopped doing extra work at the advice of, even though that was a good extra work to do, because for one, it was for Simon, Max Hill, and they pay you well and feed you well, and the experience is great.
Was it weird being Jewish in a Nazi bunker?
No.
Well, it was not real, clearly, but was it like, oh my god, this imagery?
And, because again, I've lived in the South, and I've been to the South several just different parts: Tennessee, North Carolina, Georgia, Texas. So it's and Confederate flags everywhere, and it's no joke. I mean, they love their Confederate flags. I don't know what it means exactly, but have an idea. But yeah, no, because if I were African American, I think that'd be different. You know what I mean? But because
they can't really say that they don't look at you and say that's a Jew.
Not usually.
Yeah.
So, believe it or not, there are some people who pinpoint me as a Jew, and I don't know how they do it.
I honestly had no idea you were Jewish.
Yeah,
yeah. And it sounds fucked up to say, but sometimes you look at someone. Like, I don't know, Jerry Seinfeld. Oh, yeah, that guy's Jewish.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
But like, you don't look at Jordan Yaroslavsky and think, that guy's Jewish. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
if you just knew my last name, then you think, oh, he might be Jewish. Yaroslavsky is usually a Jewish name.
I kind of thought of you as like, well, maybe Polish Catholic. I don't know. Not my business.
And people ask me what Yaroslavsky nationality is. I don't know. I mean,
I thought it was Russian when I met you. But
some people tell me it's Russian. Some say it's Polish. My family is Ukraine, so I'm half Ukrainian. But no, it's not unusual for me. Because, well, for one, you're on a movie set and you have that mindset, so it's not. Anton Yelchin was Jewish.
It's
actually.
I didn't know that either, but I imagine he's like
Jewish.
He sounds Russia.
He is Russian, yeah.
But what was he? What was he as a person? Like, well, describe like how he met and talked to you. Like
Well, I didn't really talk to him. I
You
just
didn't?
worked. It was kind of like it was the same way I worked with Casey Brown, and you may not be familiar with him, but he's an actor who has the same agency I have at Take Two.
I think this isn't Myra Wicks part of it.
Who?
Myra Wicks, I think.
I don't think she was in. Oh, in Take Two.
Yeah.
Yep. Myra was. Yeah.
She's also in Truffle Runners, by the way.
Yeah. Of course. Yes. The lovely Myra. Yes.
The amazing Myra.
So so for instance, Casey Brown is one of those guys that gets all these roles, and he's one of those guys that gets everything he tries for, but he looks like someone who could be a neo-Nazi, like just the way he just looks like a tough guy.
What's his personality like?
He's kind of like he's kind of, I guess, keep to himself kind of, but just the look, just going off the look, and that's someone, for instance, I spent time on set, and he got, I shouldn't get too much into it, but he got paid well. I mean, people got paid well on that set.
And he was one of the guys in.
He auditioned and got a role in
Green Room?
Green Room, yeah.
Was he that really big? The guy that was inside the green room with the band. Was he the first guy that they kind of subdue?
I got a confession. I haven't seen the movie.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, well...
I've been meaning to watch it, and my friend of mine watched it, and
it's fucking intense.
Oh, I've heard, yeah.
It's almost too much for me, and I can handle violence in movies.
Yeah, I've heard. A couple people told me about it, and but one person locally that I know watched it, and I was like, dude, you should have told me you were going to see it, because I'm not the type to go to a movie by myself, I don't know, just wait till it comes out, but I really want to see it, though. It's not playing, I don't think, anymore. Yeah.
It's, I don't want to bring you down, I don't want to, take wind out of your sails, but yeah. I saw that you were, I saw you post, before I saw you post something about, no, I think you made a post the day it was released. Green Room's finally being released. Mm-hmm. I helped out with this film. I spent, of course, since I know you, I spent the entire movie looking in the background of scenes. Okay, where is he? I never saw you. Mm-hmm. I never saw you. Maybe I need to do a frame by frame the Zapruder film.
It's possible that it's possible that something I was in didn't even make the cut.
Would that bother you, or was it?
I don't know. It wouldn't bother me. I got paid, so what's the difference?
you got to see some people.
Patrick Stewart.
How did I not even think of Patrick Stewart? He basically plays the anti-Picard.
Yeah, he's the antagonist. And,
he's so great in that.
And that was great.
Did you get to see him act?
I was in scenes with him. Yeah.
He is. So in the context of watching the film, he is scary. He's great.
Yeah.
I've seen. I don't know. It's against his type. We think of him as Mr. Earl Grey Picard.
Yep.
Wise, like a sweet, wise kind of a shaman.
Yep.
But I've never seen the show Blunt Talk, but honestly, every time I've seen a trailer, it's kind of annoyed me. Because it's like, oh, look, Patrick Stewart, and he's against type, and that seems to be the entire point of the show.
Yeah.
But Green Room, he plays against type, but it doesn't seem to be... It doesn't seem to be done in an intention look, we got Patrick Stewart kind of way. It fits naturally, and his performance is chilling.
he was. I don't know how much you read about it, but he was really freaked out by the script.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Was he like? Did he keep calling the director, Damalier? I forget what his name is, but come here. I cannot say this line.
Jeremy Saulnier.
Saulnier.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said Damalier.
And when he read the script, he's in his villa in Scotland, I think it is, and he got into it a couple pages, and he was so perturbed that he actually locked the doors and windows in his house.
Really?
He put down the script, locked all the doors, and then grabbed a cup of brandy and went back to it. So that's it was that disturbing to him. He was really taken away by it. He loved it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing that it had that kind of effect on him.
Yeah.
Did you? I assume you didn't get to personally speak to Stuart, but you got to watch him do his thing.
Oh yeah. I got to watch him flub a line and know that he's human.
Like, how did he react to that flubbing line? Was he really hard on himself? Like, damn it! No.
I no. I'm sure he's done it enough in his career. Everybody does. That I think.
Yeah.
It was one of those things. Director just says, "Okay, cut, do it again."
Who do you think you are? I'm Patrick Stewart. Yeah. I did it right the first time.
Yeah, it reminds me of those alcohol commercials he's doing lately.
Oh no, I didn't think of that, but those commercials are exactly pretty much what I just said.
Yeah, right, yeah.
What are those commercials for?
I don't remember.
It's like some kind of bourbon.
Yeah, it was some kind of hard liquor that was. Or apple something, or
apple.
Maybe I don't know, but it was.
I love apple liquor.
It's so good that we don't need a celebrity, and he says, "How dare you?" Something like that. Yeah.
We don't need a celebrity other than Patrick Stewart.
Commercials are the lowest form of entertainment, but goddamn, aren't they funny? Some of them are.
There have been great commercials, so there's even commercials from like the 80s and 70s that still are fit, like the Crying Indian one.
Yes.
My land has been desecrated.
No, yes. That's supposed to be one. Yeah, that's a very impactful.
Oh yeah. Till this day, people make fun of it, and I think they teach it in schools. The other day I went to Lloyd Center. There's a Suncoast video, and I meant to save my money because I was gonna get something that I need that's important. Yeah. But I went into the Suncoast and I must spend my money. I'm sure you've been in situations like that before, where you just have to start spending money even that you shouldn't spend. But I bought 2 Blu-rays and a DVD, and one of the Blu-rays I got was that Linklater movie. I can't think of it right now. It's Matthew McConaughey, Dazed and Confused.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the special features they have is just randomly is the Crying Indian video.
Really?
Yeah, it's a special feature on the Dazed.
Was it the actual original?
It was the actual commercial. And there's a music video on there from the 70s. It's like an educational one. Yeah. I think it's called VD is for everybody. And it's VD is for everybody, so go get checked. I don't remember exactly how the song goes. But it's hilarious.
Yeah, that's funny.
So, you're also involved, I guess it's a web series, it's Cosmic Embers.
Yeah.
What's the deal with that? What's going on with that?
I took kind of I auditioned a while back, over a year ago, and they brought me on board, and I get along real well with the crew, with Dane and Bobby, and Aaron, and
is James Tolliver involved in that?
He is, but just as an actor,
I got you.
he's done. He's at least in one scene in the trailer. You'll see him firing a weapon. Um,
He was going to be in my film, but ended up cutting the scene, unfortunately. But he seems like a good actor.
yeah. And we all powwowed on Google Hangouts, I think it was, but I got more involved in that in marketing and in growing followers on YouTube, and I use Twitter and I use other means of social media to kind of grow the YouTube account, which is very tedious to grow.
It's hard getting followers and viewers,
Subscribers, yeah.
It's like trying to put your head through a wall sometimes.
There's strategies to it, but I mean, I watch a lot of YouTube, and there, what people do a lot often is they put a lot of effort into producing whatever they want, whatever they're enthusiastic about, whatever they're creative, whatever they whatever is on their mind, whatever their heart's at, and unfortunately, marketing on YouTube is in an entirely different realm. So you can incorporate your personality and your passion into it, but I think in order to be successful on YouTube to the point where you could actually be garnering an income, which means you've got to have at least 10,000 subscribers to get any kind of money.
Yeah.
It's if I were to manage a YouTube account, I would. I mean, and of course I do, help manage theirs, and I have access to it. But really, if I were to do it from scratch, I would use what's hot right now. It's trending, and I don't necessarily mean what's on the news. I don't necessarily mean Donald Trump, although it could be Trump.
So you wouldn't do like a hashtag RAP Gene Wilder or something like that?
No, and I don't think hashtags necessarily are useful for YouTube as they are for Twitter.
Oh, I got you. But you wouldn't
Google.
like tag or you wouldn't like Gene Wilder or.
Well, you don't want to mislead, also, remember. But what I would do is I would clickbait. So, clickbait, which if you're not familiar with, is basically you title something that, and also not only title, but you put a picture of maybe like a sexy woman in a bikini or something, and it's clickbait because people want to see what it's about based on the title and based on the picture. And
oh, hello, pretty lady.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's got, but it can't be fake. It's got to have something to do with that. But
if it's fake, it'll just put the people off completely.
Yeah, people will stop subscribing, stop viewing.
Are you involved in as an actor as well with Cosmic Embers? Or
a little bit, yeah. Yeah, I did some acting. Dane does a lot of the acting, actually, and he's very good with comedy. He's got a gift in comedy. Bobby does a lot of the production, a lot of the producing, and of course they got Jeremy Gardell's, and Winnie does a lot of acting. Winnie Who. I mean, actually, there's a plethora of actors if you count everything that everyone's done, and really, we're releasing something, or we're supposed to be anyway, like every week.
Oh, nice.
And there actually are lots of different things, but the caliber is not quite there yet. And And my idea of how to really grow a channel is not quite true to what Cosmic Embers wants to do and what Bobby wants to do. If that makes sense.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So
you're thinking in terms of tactics, and they're thinking tactics like, but through the vision of what they think Cosmic Embers is.
Yeah, they're thinking just produce what their heart desire, and also if that's enough for it to take off.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So the YouTube is an interesting animal, and it's funny because the more I think about it, the less I want to really be a YouTube star. I don't want to be a YouTube star because it's the same thing as being an extra in Hollywood. Once you're branded an extra, good luck getting out, of that. And it's the same with YouTube. Very few people can cross over from YouTube into the agency world.
Like you mean from like the internet to like film?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Film, even commercial, which is another, thing. You can do commercials, but then you're stuck doing commercials, and that's all you can do. I mean,
wasn't there a Fred?
There are people that can cross over from commercials, but
didn't that Fred guy have his own movie come out? Fred the movie.
Which Fred?
Well, there's this guy that pretends to be a hyperactive 6-year-old. He went by apparently he was the most popular. I don't know why, but he was the most popular guy on YouTube for a while. He was just called Fred, and he pretended to be like this ultra ADHD spastic kid.
I'm not sure if I rings a bell.
It was, yeah, you're lucky. I never was a fan, but he had millions and millions of followers.
Yeah.
And apparently he had his own movie, like Fred the movie. And what's up with that? The main reason you're here today is ADR, which is it's going to be fun. ADR, for those of you who don't know, stands for Automatic Dialogue Replacement. Automatic is a bit misleading because it's anything but. It's a lot of... basically, I play a clip of his dialogue several times so he can hear it. And then when he kind of gets an idea of the tones and the delivery of the lines, I will turn on a sound recording software. I have a mic set up, and he will use that to the best of his ability, replicate his original performance that he got on location. So, because I didn't have... I had a couple of good sound guys, but a couple that didn't work out, and I was kind of stuck without a sound person, so eventually I didn't want to wait around too long for a sound person because Alan was leaving for South Korea, so at the time I just said, fuck it, I'll just ADR this later. And about 1.5 years later, that's what we're doing today.
Yeah.
We're going to sit down and do our best. Have you ever done ADR in the past, or is this your first time?
No, I have not. But like I said, the closest thing I've done is
voiceover work.
Voiceover and simply as reading script for informational stuff.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, you're in for a lot of fun. This is going to be... I honestly don't know if we'll get it all done today.
Okay.
I hope we do. But it's going to be... I've done it before. For a short film, I did a couple of lines. And it took about 15 minutes to get one line from an actress once. So that'll kind of give you a little bit of a estimation.
Okay.
But anyhow, I think, unless there's anything you'd like to add, I think it may be time to wrap up. Is there anything you'd like to say?
Yeah. No. I guess you're making your rounds with everyone on the TR project, and
Absolutely. You're the first.
okay.
I think. My goal is to get Alan or Myra in next, maybe West, but the goal is to get everyone through here to do their ADRs, and it's going to be hard with Zach because he's a prison guard in Eastern Oregon, so that's going to be a difficult hurdle to clear, but we'll figure out a way to get him, and then we'll rock out. But so you are the first person to partake in the long
Excellent.
ADR journey, so
Excellent.
prepare to rock out.
I am prepared. I am a rocker.
All right.
That's second nature for me. Yes.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. I am Jeff Crenshaw.
And I am the man, Yaroslavsky.
This is Heavy Set